Surprise, surprise, ladies and gentlemen, it's Kamikaze. It's been a minute since I last recorded a UFC prediction video. I was gonna do UFC 288, but unfortunately I was unable to record that. So we're here today. We're gonna be talking about the fight night, Rozenstruik versus Almeida. Should be a great one. But first I want to talk about UFC 288. Bilal Muhammad, Gilbert Burns. I had Gilbert Burns winning this one. Unfortunately, he was unable to do that. And it's very sad. It's very sad because he suffered a left arm injury in the first round. And he basically was fighting with one arm for 4 rounds. It was unfortunate for us as fans and for him to go through because this fight was pretty hyped up because whoever wins this is getting the title shot. I'm pretty sure a lot of people wanted Gilbert Burns to get that title shot because he's, worked his ass off. He fought against legit the baddest people in that division, and he's fallen a little short, man. He really has. And the thing that sucks even more is that for DC's things to do or something like that before the fight, you have 2 positives and 1 negative. And the 1 negative for Gilbert Burns was to not be like Russell Westbrook. To me, it was a little bit disrespectful, but it is the truth. And what DC meant by that is not to just only play in one championship game, and be ringless, essentially. And Gilbert Burns, he unfortunately is on that path right now. It's not looking too pretty for him to fight for another title shot. But you never know. But right now, it's looking like he is going to be a Russell Westbrook, where he only fought for 1 title shot. But he is a phenomenal fighter. He's fought against incredible people. He's won majority of them. And yeah, it sucks for him, man. It really does. It sucks. Very tough. Very tough to see. And then Bilal Muhammad, man. He hasn't lost a fight for like 4 years. A well-deserved title shot for him. He looked very good against Gilbert Burns. Although Gilbert Burns, was fighting with 1 arm. Muhammad looked great. His leg kicks were super fast. His leg kicks were super powerful. And he just looked good coming off of 1 month's training camp. Cool to see him get a title shot from, even though he's not the most entertaining fighter, it is well deserved for him because he's been fighting for a while and he hasn't lost a fight for so long. And for the title shot for him, I believe he's going to be fighting Colby Covington. I really believe Colby Covington is going to beat Leon Edwards in the OT Arena or wherever they fight. Colby Covington just has too much cardio. His cardio is just out the roof. He has relentless takedown offense, and he's just going to keep going at it at Leon, dude. He really is. And I think it's going to be Colby Covington versus Bilal Muhammad. And then Colby Covington can make this a very entertaining fight and a very entertaining press conference. And I believe he could get that pay-per-view. He could get that pay-per-view numbers up, dude. And that's how much star power Colby Covington has. And then Bilal Muhammad is a well-deserved title shot for him. Sterling versus Cejudo. I had Cejudo winning this fight. He did not win this fight. He did win the fight. It was a very close fight. It came down to a split decision. When the judges gave the 5th round to Sterling, which I don't think in any world Sterling wins that 5th round. It looked like he was giving up that 5th round. So that judge completely, messed up the scorecards, and Cejudo should have won. It messes up Cejudo's plan as well. He wanted to fight Sean O'Malley. Would have been a great fight. Would have sold a lot of money. But instead, Sean O'Malley is fighting Sterling. But Sean O'Malley fighting Cejudo would have been more entertaining. A lot more trash talk and all that stuff. And after that, Cejudo wanted to fight Volkanovski. Volkanovski, to me, would have dominated Cejudo. And the reason why that is because Sterling was able to essentially use his height and use his strengths against Cejudo. And I believe Volkanovski would have been able to do that. And even though Volkanovski doesn't have the size, he 100% has the power to be able to move Cejudo around, throw him around like a rag doll. And even though Cejudo is a gold medalist in wrestling, I think Volkanovski would have been a little too much for Cejudo. And then for Sterling, he wins the fight over Cejudo, and now he gets to move on to Sean O'Malley. Sean O'Malley, man, versus Sterling. I don't know. It's not a main event. That's what they're saying. It's not going to be a main event. And I think that's very, very wise for Dana White and for the matchmakers, because this fight could easily be, I don't want to say a snooze fest, but just, Sterling dragging O'Malley on the canvas, That's what Sterling said he's going to do. He's just going to ride him like a backpack and all that stuff and just take him down. And for me, or not for me, but for O'Malley, the way he needs to win is just obviously standing up. But he could win by decision. He could very easily win by decision. All he needs to do is do not let Sterling get into dominant positions. And I know that's hard to do, but if you could prevent that from happening, he could very easily win in a decision. He could very easily win in a decision. He really could. We saw that against Peter Yan, how that happened. I think Peter Yan won, but it is what it is. Sean O'Malley has superstar power, so I believe that superstar power could win in the decision victory over Sterling. And I think the UFC really needs it. Sean O'Malley has the looks, has the talk, has the the fight game. I think the UFC really, really needs Sean O'Malley to beat Sterling for them to profit. And now for the fight card this week. Rozenstruik as the main event. You got Johnny Walker, Anthony Smith, Rodriguez, Gary. Mackenzie Dern is no longer on this card. She's fighting in the main event next week. And it's good for Hill and Dern, because I'm pretty sure they're gonna get paid more money for stepping up to that plate, And the only thing that sucks is for the fans, they're not gonna be able to see Mackenzie Dern until one more week. And Tim Means versus Alex Morono. And then the rest of the card, you got pretty solid fighters, up and comers, and some veteran fighters as well. So let's get into the fights I want to highlight for this card. Obviously, you got Rozenstruik, Almeida, Anthony Smith, Johnny Walker, and then Daniel Rodriguez and Ian Gary. Gonna be a banger right there. And then for the prelims, Cody versus Douglas, and then Carlos versus Eeyore. Should be a banger. Carlos is a very good fighter, so is Eeyore. For the early prelims, Brian Battle versus Gabriel Green. Should be a banger of a fight right there. Let's get into my first fight breakdown of this card, and that's going to be Dan Rodriguez, D-Rod versus the future, Ian Gary. This fight is going to be a phenomenal fight to watch. It's going to be a phenomenal fight to watch. You got the young prospect, undefeated, 11-0, Ian Gary versus the veteran Dan Rodriguez, who's been in the game for a while. He's 36 years old. He last fought against Neil Magny. He lost in a third round submission. And then before that, he was fighting against the Leech. And then for Ian Gary, like I said, he's undefeated. He last fought against Sung. He nearly got knocked out, but he was able to overcome that, and he ended up knocking him out in the third round. So, Ian Gary versus Dan Rodriguez should be a banger. Both of them are going to stand there and exchange, and I believe Ian Gary is going to come out with a dub. With a second round TKO, I feel like the first round he's just going to, measure, get the timing down right. And then the second round, he's going to go after him and try to knock him out. And then for my second fight right here, it's a no-brainer. Anthony Smith, Johnny Walker. Johnny Walker legit. Man, look at Johnny Walker, man. 6'5", 82 reach. He should be in his prime. He's 31 years old. He should have that wisdom that he was lacking that he was lacking in the early of his that he was lacking early in his career. He has all the skills. He has the body to be a champion, and this is his first test. Anthony Smith. Anthony Smith has been around. He fought against Glover. He fought against John Jones. He's fought against all those legends, legit top 10 contenders and stuff like that. And now he's going to be fighting against Johnny Walker, who should be hungry, who should know that he's in his prime and this is his chance to go up and try to take that title. Anthony Smith is coming off a loss against Goliath. Suffered a leg injury in that fight. He ended up getting TKO'd in the second round. And then Johnny Walker's coming off a first round TKO over Paul Craig. He did it pretty quick as well. Did it quick and clean. So yeah, this one should be a really good fight. At the end of the day, I'm going to go with Johnny Walker with a first round knockout. Reason why is because I feel like Anthony Smith is legitimately scared of Johnny Walker. I'm not going to cap. I think he is. He said he might have said that he is scared. I'm not going to cap. In the Bisbee podcast, I think he said that he is scared because if he loses, he thinks he might disappear from the UFC rankings and all that stuff, which could be the case. But I think he's physically scared of Johnny Walker because the man's 6'5", 81 reach. He has power. All he needs to do is keep his IQ, get his IQ up. That's all he needs to do. And I believe at 31 years old, I think he's ready. I think he's ready to take that leap and actually contend for that title shot. And then for the main event, Rozenstruik versus Almeida. Should be a good one. No way this one goes all the way 5 rounds. At most, it goes to 3. Almeida legitimately could submit him, knock him out. Has a lot of hype. He's 31 years old. He's in his prime. He's looking really good, you know. He could take you down, submit you, or ground and pound you. And then Rozenstruik's coming off a win over Ducasse, a first round TKO. He finished him within 1 minute or something like that. And yeah, it was a pretty good knockout. Ducasse was, I don't want to say he was hyped up, but they were saying that his speed was too fast for the heavyweights. Rozenstruik shut that down. And here he is now. He's fighting against a hot prospect, 4-fight win streak. Again, he's very hyped. He's very balanced. He could submit you, he could TKO you, but he is going to take you to the ground. That's 100% for certain that he's going to do that. I'm 100% sure that he's going to take Rozenstruik down. It should be a really good fight, though. Either way, if Rozenstruik could, stop that takedown, I wonder if it'll be a phenomenal stand-up fight. But if it is, Rozenstruik most likely will win it. But it probably is going to go to the ground. I mean, it is going to go to the ground. But who I'm picking is Rozenstruik in the second round. He's going to make Almeida work for the takedown. He might get to the takedown in the first round, but I don't think he submits. I think Rozenstruik survives that. I think Rozenstruik survives the first round, and I think Almeida is going to be a little tired, and I think Rozenstruik is going to capitalize on that and he's going to knock him out in the second round. But either way, it could go either way. Rozenstruik could very easily get submitted or just, ground and pounded. But I'm going to go with a safe pick, I believe. That's Rozenstruik with his knockout power. And then the early prelims, Bryan Battle, Rose Clark, names to know. And then we got new fighters for the women's flyweight division. And for my selections, I'm going with Maddie, Bryan Battle, and then Jessica Rose. Jessica Rose last time she broke her elbow or something like that. She was fighting against a new girl. But I'm going to go with Jessica Rose just for the hell of it, I guess. Why not? And then right here, man, we got Carl Williams and Chase Sherman. Those guys were supposed to fight at UFC 287. I think Chase Sherman got sick or something like that, the day of the fight, so they pushed it back all the way to here. So they now are officially going to battle fight, and then my highlight. And here's my picks for this one. I'm going with McGee. Carl Williams is who I would have picked last time. I'm sticking with him. Cody. I like Cody's fight style. I think he's a little undersized. Maybe not. I might be tripping. But he always brings the violence. And then Carlos is very technical. He's very precise on the shot. So I think he's going to land a really nice one on my boy. And then Nathan. Alright. Yeah. And then for the main card, Rozenstruik, we went over. Anthony Smith, Rodriguez, we went over all those. Mackenzie Dern, she fights next week, but I am going to predict hers right now. And then Tim Means versus Alex. Alex fought against the Argentina guy. I apologize. I don't know his name's Santiago, I think. His name's actually Santiago. Alex stepped in with like a 1 week notice, and he nearly beat Santiago. And Santiago knocks him out in like the late third round. At the end of the third round, he knocks Alex out, and Alex was winning that fight. It was a very good fight, but unfortunately for Alex, he did not come out with a dub after coming off a 1 week notice. It would have been incredible if he did. But here's my prediction for the main card: Rozenstruik, Walker, Gary. I'm going Mackenzie Dern for that main event next week. I don't think there's any way Hill could win. I'm gonna be honest. I'll be very surprised if Hill wins. Mackenzie Dern, I don't like her stand up. Just like someone that I said, I don't like their stand up, and they trying to stand up and they lost. Oh, it was that Scotland girl. She got lost against Maya. She tried to use her stand up game, and she's not that great at that. But yeah, Mackenzie Dern, I don't like her stand-up, so she needs to get this fight to the ground and just submit Hill. It's going to be tough doing that, but I believe Mackenzie Dern could do that. And then I'm going to go with Alex, because like I said, he came off a 1 week notice loss against Santiago, but he nearly won that. He got knocked out in the third round, and I think it was because he was tired. Again, he's coming off literally the couch. He's coming off the couch to just fight in the main card. So I have him bouncing back against Tim Means. And yeah. I'll go with a TKO. A TKO in the third round. I don't think... Yeah, I'm going to go TKO in the third round. Maybe in the first. I'm going to go first round TKO with Alex. And then Mackenzie Dern, I'm going to go with a second round submission. So yeah, that's my UFC Fight Night Rozenstruik Almeida breakdown. Hopefully my main events are correct, because again, the record on the main events is not looking too great. For the fight nights, I've been doing pretty good. I haven't recorded that many of them, but like on the side, I have been pretty nice for the main events. The prelims have been alright all season long. To add to the win column for those records, and hopefully y'all enjoyed this episode. And hope you all enjoyed the fights. Hope you all have a wonderful day. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.